Coastal erosion is a cumulative impact, both natural and artificial. Natural losses include subsidence, decay of abandoned deltas, waves, and storms. Artificial losses are things like flood control practices, impoundments, and oil dredging, and subsequent erosion of artificial channels. All beaches are affected by storms and other natural events that cause erosion. However, the extent and severity of the problem differs in different parts of the country, and so there is no one-size-fits-all solution. In the United States, coastal erosion is responsible for roughly $500 million per year in coastal property loss, including damage to structures and loss of land. To mitigate coastal erosion, the federal government spends an average of $150 million every year on beach nourishment and other shoreline erosion control measures. In addition to beach erosion, more than 80,000 acres of coastal wetlands are lost annually, the equivalent of 7 football fields disappearing every hour of the day. Some impacts of land erosion are increased saltwater intrusion, loss of capacity to buffer storm surges, and large additions of nutrients. A good example of an area affected by coastal erosion is Louisiana. Coastal Louisiana wetlands make up the 7th largest delta on Earth. According to USGS, these wetlands are in peril because Louisiana currently undergoes about 90% of the total coastal wetland loss in the continental United States. Currently, the levees of the Mississippi River used to control the river and protect communities, but unfortunately, these levees now actually create problems for the ecosystem because the delta's wetlands have been built and sustained by sediment deposited by the river. Levees cut a connection between the sediment-filled river and its delta, which stops the wetlands from regenerating land. So why are marshes so important for our coastline? Marshes act like a sponge. They absorb a lot of the water that intrudes the coastline during storms. Along with helping control the aggressive surges of water from storms and sea level rises, marshes are habitats for a variety of plants and animals. These marshes can even affect climate change directly by pulling harmful carbon out of the atmosphere and converting it into a useful nutrient in the soil. For the past 25 years, the U.S. Geological Survey has been studying land loss and coastal erosion in Louisiana, and their data has indicated that over 34 square miles of land have been lost per year in the last 44 to 50 years. Between 1932 and the year 2010, Louisiana has lost 1,900 square miles of land. Solutions that we think would be helpful to use would be control structures to control salinity and maximize the flow of the fresh water. We also think that creating marsh terraces, low duck-wing-shaped ridges made from existing bottom sediments, could be used to convert newly formed shallow water back into marshes. Marsh creation uses sediment from the Mississippi River or nearby water bottoms to build land in shallow open water areas, typically where land has been lost. Marsh creation can be used in combination with sediment diversions to help trap sediment. In turn, sediment diversions can benefit marsh creation projects by providing a long-term source of sediment that can help lengthen their lifespans. Another example of solution we think would be helpful is hydraulic restoration, which restores freshwater flows through man-made channels, gates, or similar structures to reduce or prevent saltwater intrusion, which can be harmful to wetland marshes. This project type can control salinity levels, preventing the die-off of freshwater plants and trees. Hydrologic restoration projects can also help maintain optimal salinities needed for the success of other restoration projects, such as oyster reef and marsh creation projects. Other examples of ways we would want to go about solving this problem would be to plant vegetation, to have erosion control mats, and to use coconut fiber logs that can be used on the beaches to help with sand erosion and then can be put in sand dunes to help establish roots.